This is Slade. Slade is an environmental cooperative and the oldest environmental organization at UVM, predating even the environmental studies program. Founded in 1971, Slade has a rich history of promoting environmental awareness, low-impact living, consensus-based decision-making, and much more in an undergraduate residential setting. Slade has been grounded in the UVM and Burlington community for decades and has been an incubator for students that have gone on to become farmers, activists, community leaders, university professors, professional artists, and more. In fall of 2014, UVM's Department of Residential Life moved Slade Nation out of our home on 420 South Prospect Street and into the cottages on Trinity campus, with the promises that once renovations at Slade Hall were finished, the community would move back in. Residents were told that the renovations would be done in 2 years, yet 2 years have passed and no progress has been made. Res Life then proposed even greater changes that could spell out the end of Slade. For the first time in its 45-year history, Res Life has threatened to merge Slade into another larger dorm. This would prevent juniors and seniors from living in the program and force Sladers to join the UVM meal plan run by Sodexo Corporation, starting in the fall of 2016. These decisions were made without consulting Slade and would effectively sever the community from its ability to practice its core values. These changes won't work for the Slade community.
Slade is a family and we need a home. I feel like every single semester is a new generation of Slade, and that means that we're going on like 80 generations. Like, that's as old as a lot of countries. And it shows up in our culture and in this dialogue that we've created. We have tradition here. Part of tradition, I think, is the food of a culture, you know. Think about anywhere that you go and you think about what's different, and those are tangible things that you can smell, taste, touch, and food is a huge one of those. And since Slade is a family, like when you think about your family home, the traditions that get passed on are the meals. 2 years ago or 20 years ago, they come in, we hold hands, we eat a home-cooked meal that was grown locally. When we came to orientation to come to UVM, they assigned a book cooked by Michael Pollan to the entire freshman student body. In this book, it states that the reason that we have evolved as humans and are everything that we can be is because we cook our food. Then we are put into dorms and put on a meal plan where we are completely disconnected from our food.
There's always that feeling of, you know, being so tired from class or from your day, and you go home to dinner. That's like the most important thing ever. Slade makes the environmental statement of really learning from each other, learning from the land, learning how to conserve water, compost, grow your own food, save electricity. Every aspect of environmentalism is touched upon in Slade.
I make the art for this band, Squimley and the Woolens, and I make the posters for the band, but I also make the CD covers, and I also am working on a graphic novel right now about a lot of things, and it's for my environmental studies thesis, but one huge theme running through it is community and like consciousness, and I think Slade influenced that a lot, like my experiences there. It was just a supportive place for creative, weird, funky people to live and just like feel comfortable with each other and feel comfortable expressing themselves. And it's like good soil that when you put the seeds in it, they flourish in a way that they wouldn't if it was just like a sterile dorm. it definitely is good soil, I'd say.
To have around and remember things we did that weren't so tender. The train blows whiskey when I say like I'm a musician, I think that was an experience that was entirely defined by my time at Slade. And I think a thing that Slade has always done is it, I think, has given people a safe space to like create their identity.
People, I hope you're holding someone's hand. Sitting in this room, playing instruments, sitting like closer to anyone that you ever would otherwise.
You try to hit me just to hurt me, so you leave me feeling dirty, cause you can't understand.
Mine's countless times. I remember watching him disconnected from his friends like they built a glass wall around his head. I remember thinking how he must feel.
You were a child. The open mics in Slade were so essential for so many reasons. There's so many people in the Burlington music community that sort of had their music fostered in Slade, and I think people always come back because they know that it's a space for, in the most cliche way, being utterly present. I mean, you get a room full of a lot of people all listening so well. Magic is made. I mean, there's nothing else there's no other word to describe it other than magic, you know? And that, I think, is the sort of mojo that keeps drawing people back in. And it's a space for people to be able to listen and for people to be heard in a very beautiful way.
The first time I came into a Slade meeting, I was surrounded by people who I'd never met before, and I felt closer to them than I'd felt to anyone that I'd met in a long time.
It was a lot about having conversations and an academic experience about life itself and about what it meant to live in communal space with others and share not only a dorm but a campus and a planet with other people. Every student who finds themselves attracted to Slade as a place to live or come for dinner or simply find community has a story of what they were missing on campus that drew them to Slade. It wouldn't have been possible for me to feel so empowered and supported if I didn't have roommates who I could constantly bounce ideas off of in this very intentional space. I myself am running for lieutenant governor and owe a lot of my leadership and experience building community to Slade. There are others who are Grammy Award nominees or are starting their own businesses or social workers. There's something very special that draws people to Slade and that they graduate with that's incredibly unique and really is something that most universities are trying to find rather than to get rid of.
Slade saves people, actually saves lives. And it brings tears to my eyes because I know so many people that Slade has saved, myself included. And it's just such an important thing to think of how many thousands and countless lives that Slade has touched. And there are a lot of students that come to Slade so often because it's the only place that they feel safe. And I think that's a really, really important aspect of life, that people need to find a community that really supports them and really cares about them. I'm Ann Cromley, and Slade to me is the importance of coming home to family and friends.
I'm Shiona, and Slade is a glowing, morphing ball of light, bringing life to everything it touches.
Slade is about embracing an intentional way of life, embracing new people, and embracing yourself.
Slade is a big bag of local beats.
Slade is home. Slade is why I love UVM.
Slade is my source of energy.
Slade is expression.
Slade is a family of loving, open people.
Slade is bitchin'.
Slade is love.
Slade is passion.
I'm Olive. and Slade is healing.